Hippies make love, not war. And rock and roll evolves, giving new meaning to jeans. Bob Dylan epitomizes a new kind of musician, the singer-songwriter with a message. His look at a concert at the Hollywood Bowl shocks at least one member of the audience.
When I saw Bobby Zimmerman up there with his torn jeans, I thought, whoa, this is radical. This is a radical fashion statement.
Performers wear jeans instead of costumes to make a statement.
Their music came out of their lifestyle, that they were real people, they were not entertainers, and that their message should have that kind of credibility of being real people.
Dylan's protest songs match the mood of the times. As protests gain momentum, even Levi CEO Phil Marino joins the Poor People's March on Washington.
I was there primarily to meet girls and have a good time. And what I remember is everybody had a pair of Levi's on. It was sort of a universal piece of clothing back then.
Jeans are very comfortable clothes, and they're very practical clothes. And a lot of protesting involved moving around a lot, running away from the police, running around.
A new type of rebel, the hippie, right down the street from Levi's at Haight-Ashbury. Fine blue jeans.
That was probably one of the luckiest breaks Levi's ever got in terms of really becoming a part of the youth culture, because the hippie was very much associated with San Francisco and the San Francisco culture. And in San Francisco, the jeans that you wore were Levi's, because that's what's around.
By 1969, that market spreads east, all the way to Woodstock.
It was definitely a jeans experience, and you had to come in your jeans unless you were, nuts. You're not going to roll around in your Armani suit in the mud.
You know what they said about our generation is they said we went to Woodstock a tribe and we came out a market. And there's some truth to that. It's like, well, look at all those people. Yeah, what can we sell them? But Levi's already knew that they were selling jeans to those people.
While blue jeans almost becomes a uniform, the pants themselves become a new palette for self-expression, declaring individual tastes and freedom.
What a lot of people were responding to was that I can make my mark on this. I can rip it, I can take sandpaper to it, I can paint it, I can embroider it, I can fray it, I can make this pair of pants that every one of us at Woodstock is wearing, all 160,000 of us, and each one of us can look different.
Levi's encourages the trend, holding a Levi's denim art contest.
And one of the most amazing is this pair here, done by a young man in Georgia. We think he started with a pair of our flared denim jeans and then just went to town, opening up the hem, painting, using magic marker, using wooden beads, wonderful leather thongs, and a little leather pouch.
Kinda grows attached.
Folk art translated into a folksy style that Levi's spins in its television ads.
Maybe Levi's blue jeans shouldn't last so long. Then they wouldn't break so many hearts.
TV becomes an increasingly important ad medium for Levi's and all marketers.
Better to have had Levi's and lost them than never to have had Levi's at all.
Coming up next, as designers take over denim, their ads capitalize on what Levi Strauss & Company has always known. Jeans are sexy. The Rose Bowl Flea Market. The search for Levi's history continues. Jimmy Hanrahan and Lynn Downey search for clues, still looking for the missing pieces of Levi's history. Tucked amid the chandeliers, old dolls, and antique furniture are thousands of pairs of vintage blue jeans, Levi's in particular. It may be the world's largest venue for vintage Levi's.
Every booth is different. You can have piles and piles of denim that you have to wade through, or you can have racks of very well organized and labeled denim. It is just soup to nuts at the Rose Bowl Flea Market.
Like detectives at a crime scene, Jimmy and Lynn scour the flea market. Each item here potentially could unearth how Levi's became an icon.
Every once in a while, something amazing will turn up. Just when you think everything is either with us or in Japan, you'll find a treasure. And that's what makes it a real hunt.
In this crowd, everyone knows Lynn and Jimmy. Larry McCoyne, a vintage dealer from Seattle, seeks their expertise. He's found an unusual Levi's coat.
Oh my God, it's light as a feather.
Isn't it stunning? Isn't it absolutely stunning?
Larry's not selling, but the information isn't lost on Levi's.
It was really a very unusual item with our Sunset label, which dates back all the way to the 19th century and all the way up through the 1930s.
Lynn and Jimmy check out more contemporary items to learn how advertising and pop culture play a role in the Levi's story. It's the 1970s. Saturday Night Fever makes disco cool. Watergate floods the news. Mood rings decode our feelings. And designer jeans enter the fashion vocabulary.
That was a seminal moment for jeans and denim, and one that began a trajectory that we're still in.
Women find themselves. They're strong and invincible and wearing blue jeans.
The changing role of women in the 1970s was crucial to the spread of blue jeans. That was the decade when women's liberation entered a new phase, and pants in general took off. I remember when I was in high school in the 70s, we had to go on strike for the right to wear pants, including jeans.
Men, meanwhile, followed the lead of Jimmy Carter, showing the world jeans are acceptable presidential garb, foreshadowing the move toward casual workplaces.
Jimmy Carter allowed himself to be photographed and seen wearing very casual clothes, including blue jeans. And I think because he knew that people would take that in a positive way.
While the world changed around it, Levi's changed its style of advertising, a feel others copied.
Oh, yeah.
For the first time in history.
They had a commercial with Travis, Where Have You Been? And it was very mysterious and enigmatic. And it started, I think, everybody down the road of not giving away too much information, of making it cinematic, of making it rich and interesting so that people will actually want to watch it again.
As the 80s emerged, the Reagan Revolution brings trickle-down economics. Prosperity grows, and materialism reigns. Calvin Klein sees his moment, catapulting designer jeans' place in culture.
Calvin Klein, with Brooke Shields suggesting nothing came between her and her jeans, and then Calvin Klein did every possible iteration of sex so that you looked at it and you didn't really know what it was, but you thought you might be missing something.
Designer jeans trade proletariat appeal for a new allure, status.
It was outrageous that people were buying jeans for $35 when you could get a plain old pair of, no-name jeans for $12. But it changed from just fashion to style.
Even the most unlikely succumb.
I got a couple pairs of Calvin Klein jeans. They were okay. And I got dissed by a friend of mine who said that, he never thought the people's hero Country Joe would be wearing designer jeans, man,
Jeans are sold on what had been the unspoken obvious. Jeans are sexy.
That individuality of expression, where you want to take it, how you want to wear it, what you want to pair it with, has everything to do with how people perceive the wearer. And that can be the sexiest thing in the world.
During the Reagan era, more Levi's flies were buttoned and unbuttoned on television than ever before. Levi's 501 jeans thrives amidst the flash of designer wear.
But this, in a way, only threw the classic brands more into focus as, again, being the authentic blue jeans as opposed to the fashion blue jeans.